Hello. Welcome back to the... Wait a minute, I'm on fire! Help! Oh wait, I'm just a PNG. Anyways, welcome back to the channel, everyone. You're looking fantastic, especially if you're standing next to CGI cameos from The Flash. Let's talk about The Flash. The Flash is a movie just released not too long ago and was, in nice words, a bigger mess than Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Strikes Again. Yikes. This movie had for the longest time been in the woodworks to be released during the incredible, expansive, and so damn good DCEU. The DCEU was a shit show. Thankfully, after so many years of torment, except for the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker show and Shazam 1, we're hopefully finally getting a proper DC Universe movie franchise, and I for one am in for the ride. I'm a huge DC fan and have been since I was a wee lad, thanks to growing up with the animated shows and already released live action films, especially Batman and Robin.
7 million.
Rape my childhood, will you? You'll all die!
To this day though, there hasn't been a proper Flash film, and it's a real damn shame. The Flash has to be one of my most favorite DC characters thanks to being in the Justice League show, video games like Injustice 2, Lego Batman 2, even if it wasn't for much, and of course just his comics in general. So when finally after all these years the Flash film was going to be released, I was excited. Until of course, Ezra Miller was revealed to be batshit insane. I think everyone knows the story already about Ezra, but damn was that a nuts thing to hear about. The main star of the big DCEU film turns out to be a mad person who should be kicked out of Hollywood. Anyways, I don't really want to talk too much about that, as I think it's time for me to just move on from that though, as everyone knows about Ezra now, and I for one already have enough shit on my plate thanks to this movie. So let's get started into the main course. Our story begins as Barry is late heading to work, but requires the one thing he needs most at the moment that describes this movie's production pretty well: a weird mixed breakfast.
The PB and BRHC on a roll?
PB would be peanut butter, I'm
Yes.
assuming?
BR, bananas, raisins, H, honey, C, cheese on a roll.
On his way to work though, our hero of the story, Jeremy Prothean Irons,
Let the blood rain from the sky!
calls him saying the batsuit wearing man requires his help, and as it's his duty and every other Justice League member is apparently busy,
What about Diana?
My other first thought, rather annoyingly, she's not picking up.
what nonsense would be happening for Wonder Woman not to answer a call for help from Batman? Her sculptures I'm sure can fucking wait. And Steve Trevor is gone from her life nearly 40 years now. It's time to move on, Wonder Woman. Anyways, Barry has lightly jogged to Gotham City to see that the hospital is beginning to collapse as Batman decides to not help and instead go after Falcone's idiot kid, as he has something that will thingy the thing into Gotham, making things go thingingly bad. I will say this, it's some good back and forth with the two, but not specifically dialogue wise, but the hero set pieces. Batman is off to stop Falcone's idiot son, while Barry has to make sure the hospital is safe for people to evacuate. Jeez Barry, those look shocking. Just make sure no rain or showers come in, that would be terrible. Oh fuck. So yeah, let's talk about the baby shower scene. It's insane, and CGI is just not the best here, but I will admit it, it's pretty fucking fun. I knew the scene was coming, sadly, because of Funko Pop reveals. It is weird to say that, as that was how I was spoiled about the movie, but I just want to quickly clarify, I'm not into Funko Pops, it was just revealed online, guys. Don't start assuming things about me and Funko Pops. Even with that spoiler for me though, holy shit, in general the scene was just mad. I love the ways he saves the babies and the one scene where he punches the vending machine, because I can just edit it to look like he punches the baby. But also just the mix-in of the not good CGI just makes it way funnier to me. I mean, you could be a hater of this movie, but this scene was definitely something else. After this, we do head back to Batman stopping Falcone's idiot son, and just as they are about to fall into Gotham with the Fang suitcase...
Sorry I'm late.
I can't tell you how much I dislike this theme song now. It has been drilled into my head since Batman vs Superman and has stayed there since, annoying me each new DC film. I haven't seen Shazam 2, but know she is in it, and god, I wouldn't be surprised if that theme was in it also.
Love of God! For the love of God!
After this, we finally head back to the cafe where Barry finally enjoys his mess for breakfast and gets to work late. Oh look, it's Barry's associates and friends. So we head into a bump with a not yet met character important to Barry, Iris West, who most audiences have never met before unless you watch the Snyder cut of Justice League. In the comics, Iris is Barry's love interest, especially in the CW show.
You are not the Flash, Barry. We are.
I beg your pardon?
I beg your pardon?
As she is a reporter on Barry's case, as when he was a child, his father was made the only suspect for the murder of Barry's mother, having been in prison for... Geez, at least maybe 15 years or more at this point, right? I don't know. Ezra Miller looks old. He's now played by one of my most favorite actors around, Ron Livingston, who you may know from an absolute classic movie called Office Space. And I like to think this movie is a continuation of Office Space, as after so many years of being laid back and chill from his hypnosis, he is then just thrown into prison for a crime he didn't commit, because he's really just that calm and chill from the hypnosis. So, you know, it's a part of my much more perfectly planned out extended universe called the OSU, Office Space Universe. This call that Barry has with his father gives him the realization he may never get his dad out of prison and has him run in sadness until he runs into the MacGuffin of the film. He can now travel in time. As he realizes this when he... Oh my god. After this realization, he has a conversation with Bruce Wayne about saving the people he loves, including even Bruce's parents, as Bruce tells him how bad of an idea it is, and Ben Affleck leaves the DCEU officially until further notice. Because I haven't seen Aquaman 2 yet. I'm not sure if he is in it, but from what I heard he was going to be, he isn't. I don't know. I don't know when I'm gonna watch Aquaman 2, man.
I am Aquaman.
So anyways, Barry doesn't listen to Bruce and instead does the opposite of what the world's greatest detective just told him and goes back to save his mum, and from what he sees, it works. But then, a shadowy purple figure appears and knocks him out of his time bubble too early. Who could this character be? What's their motives? Could it be Reverse Flash? Yeah, this villain also got spoiled for me from a Funko Pop. As Barry is thrown out of his time, he notices immediately changes. Firstly, his mommy is still alive, and his dad is finally not in prison and he's young again. Oh shit. So yeah, as if one Ezra Miller wasn't enough, here's now two, where sometimes the second Barry just looks like a PS3 game, and has an annoying laugh. Fuck you. With this reveal, Barry thinks of many things to do now, but discovers that Barry 2 is on a date tonight, the same night he gains his powers of the Flash. So instead of that date, the two of them head to the lab that made Barry the Flash. Barry 2 does have doubts about this though, as it could really hurt. Oh, fucking way, I don't want to get super speed powers. Whoa. But Lightning says fuck you, and now Barry 2 now has his Flash powers, but Barry Prime doesn't anymore. Alright, that was pretty silly. The two of them get home to Barry 2's apartment, where Barry 2 learns his new powers, laughing and running around like as if he was running around the homes of people living in Hawaii. Jesus Christ, Ezra is a bad person. After the whole fiasco and a Mama cameo, Barry Prime realizes that going back to the past has altered things much worse than he expected. Firstly, Zod is back, with Michael Shannon returning 10 years later to the role of Zod. Holy shit, Man of Steel was 10 years ago?
I will find him.
Newsflash, you stupid fucking cock!
Barry needs help against Zod, and so decides to see if he can find Superman with the help of the one man who could help him, Jeff Bridges. Oh, wait, hang on. I mean Michael Keaton's Batman, who apparently is not the same Batman from the '89 and Returns films, but let's be honest, it is no matter what. Michael Keaton in this movie is clearly having a good time. I love Michael Keaton. He's a great actor and was my first movie Batman. Before anyone asks, no, I'm not old. I had the Batman 4 film movie collection as a kid and watched it on repeat with the other 3 movies. I am not over 30, so don't think that. Anyways, he really steals this movie, even if his deliveries aren't always the best.
You wanna get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Fuck off. Actually, who wrote this movie? Ah, well that makes sense. After this encounter with Bruce, the two Barrys decide to break into the Batcave since Bruce won't help them, and Barry Prime works to find information on Superman, with him also yelling at Barry 2 for being annoying and not realizing how good he actually has it. Fans of this movie seem to really enjoy this scene, but I think it's okay though. When it comes to people yelling at the other, it doesn't beat the classic Judge Dredd argument scene.
You killed innocent people.
The means to an end.
You started a massacre.
I caused the revolution.
You betrayed the law.
Bruce in the end does decide to help them though, and locates information on a Kryptonian, taking the two Barrys with him as he dons the suit of the Batman once more, and I for one loved how he looked. The guy is 72 and he still looks good, man. As the gang heads over to find Superman, there's a great deleted scene from this part that I really wish they kept in about why Batman retired. As Barry 2 explains, he killed a gangster in front of his own kid, having Bruce realize the awful thing he had just done and puts away the cow for good. It's a great scene that I wish was in the movie, as even though they say it's not the Burton Batman, we know Batman killed in the '89 and Returns movies, and it's an idea I love, that he does this awful shit but realizes that he's just as bad as the criminals that killed his parents. Anyways, now that my tangent's over about a deleted scene.
This might hurt.
Cringe. Alright, actually, I'll uncringe that line because that was pretty awesome to see. They finally arrive to Superman's cell only to realize something. Superman is a girl?
What the fuck?
Anyways, even though they figured out that Superman is now a Supergirl, they still decide to save Kara anyway, seeing as they wouldn't really be heroes if they saw a person half dead and walked away. Finally, after escaping though, they get back to Wayne Manor and try to figure out what's next. Oh, and also by the way, Kara leaves immediately. Yeah, this doesn't work with the Barrys as they need to still stop Zod and decide that Prime Barry needs to regain his powers. And so, with the help of Batman and his lovely ascot, it doesn't work and Barry dies. Thankfully though, Kara has a change of heart of leaving the team and decides to pay back Barry for saving her by taking him to the clouds and getting him fucking electrocuted. This does work though, and Barry is back to his prime self finally, and Barry too has made himself a new suit. Gross. With the Flash now back, making it two Flashes now, a Batman and a Super Kryptonian, the gang is now a team, or maybe even a league. Nah, they're just a team at least. There's just not enough camaraderie between them all to be there yet. The team heads to where Zod and his army are set to begin the attack on Earth, which is a giant empty lot of land in the middle of a desert. Look man, I get it. The complaints from Man of Steel are worth some rightful complaints, but are we still seriously dealing with that aftermath? It was 10 years ago, and since then we still get this Zack Snyder problem that isn't an Andy Muschietti problem. If you had this final big fight in a city, it would have been fucking dope. You could have had the team fighting Zod and his army while also saving civilians. That was the biggest issue of Man of Steel. They pretty much destroyed Metropolis, and Superman didn't save anyone except one family at the end of the enormous fight by snapping Zod's neck, which never told me that Clark was a good hero, because sure, he saved those people, but didn't once save others. Hey, hang on, I gotta pause. I shouldn't be rambling about Man of Steel. He does save people in the movie from time to time, just not as much during the Metropolis fight. Just cool. This is a Flash review, Liam. Get it together, brother. Anyways, so yeah, this didn't need to be in a desert and would have been great for seeing the team fighting Zod and his army while saving civvies, especially Batman, who throughout this whole fight is just air support. He could have blasted some of Zod's army really good if they were trying to kill civilians. The team goes on to fight Zod's army as Kara confronts Zod about his arrival to Earth and her cousin Kal-El, when it's revealed that they found his pod and killed him because that baby could not handle the power of an extractor beam, I guess. Pussy. This pisses Kara off as she beats Zod off for a good bit, and during this, the Barrys continue fighting as Barry 2 gets the hang of his abilities more, and with the two of them together, they're able to take people down, and I just know this fight is going to be awesome and full of great scenes with awesome one-liners.
Come on, Barbie. Let's go party?
The movie is now bad. Kara is unsuccessful in her fight against Zod and is given 19 inches of Zod's blade, and Batman kills himself as he also heard the "come on Barbie" line and couldn't handle the cringe anymore. The two Barrys take matters into their own hands though and take on Zod and his army, and through the power of friendship can stop. They go back in time and redo the fight. Honestly, I just couldn't keep that joke going. Let's get that through that. Through redos, they do their best to try and save Kara and Bruce, but are unsuccessful each time, with Bruce having a pretty good moment for himself with his second death.
We can't bring you back, can we?
You already did.
And Barry 2 getting injured badly with each fight as he slowly starts looking like the inside of a microwave after a kid puts an alfoil bowl in it.
I am the one who cooks microwave meals.
Barry 2's final form is revealed as a much older and disfigured version of himself after countless attempts to save Bruce and Kara. He explains through these numerous attempts he's done the most unimaginable damage to the multiverse, and not only by destroying them, but also deep faking everyone. And my fucking god, I groaned so loud of disappointment and cringe when I first saw this at the movies. To see these actors who are dead or de-aged horribly is just insultingly foul. I don't care if it was heartfelt somehow or something. This shit right here is something that should be used in a court case against Warner Brothers. I fucking hate this. Except of course the cameo from Man. Evil Barry 2 then tries to kill Barry Prime, but is unsuccessful as good Barry 2 saves Barry Prime from being stabbed by evil Barry 2, and they both sadly disappear, like they think the death is as sad as Spider-Man in Infinity War or something. Barry Prime decides to fix the timeline finally and has one final moment with his mom before he takes the tomatoes out of a cart to have her die, and hopefully everything goes back to normal, and surely Batman is now Ben Affleck again. Surely. Barry sprints to the courthouse for this Father's Day in court, and finally after so many years was able to prove that his dad didn't kill his mom because Barry moved the tomato cans to the top of the shelf in the store. Barry and his dad can finally go on with their lives, especially his dad who has spent so many fucking years in prison that I'm sure he's walking out of jail with a bunch of prison bitch tattoos on him.
What?
We get some more one-on-one with Iris in this movie to remind the audience after over 2 hours that Barry did have a love interest in the film, and Bruce is on his way to the courthouse to meet Barry and is revealed to be George Clooney.
Who the fuck
fuck is this?
Surprise, surprise, we end with the return of George Clooney as Batman, and an awful CG tooth falling out of Barry's mouth, which just wraps this movie up perfectly. Oh, well, we also do get Aquaman in the after credits, but we don't need to discuss that. And that was The Flash. After so many years, so many directors and writers replaced, and many crimes committed by Ezra Miller, we finally got the Flash movie for the now over DCEU. And I have to say, it was meh. I think The Flash has some good moments. The start of the movie I enjoyed with Batman and Flash and the baby shower scene, of course. And I also thought Michael Keaton was great as Batman once again, but the cons really outweigh the pros here. I think for starters, a Flashpoint-based movie is not the best way to do the first Flash movie. You gotta build up to that shit. A movie on Barry trying to save his dad from prison and trying to find the actual murder would have been way more interesting. You could have introduced Reverse Flash or anyone else instead of that evil Barry 2 bullshit. And it would have been more of an emotional story for Barry, as it can go into things like Barry moving on from his mother's death and starting a new life with a developing Iris West relationship, but that's just me when it comes to the story. Of course, other cons are that outrageous CGI, the terrible acting of Ezra Miller as Barry, mainly as Barry 2, and that fucking laugh that could scare off bears coming towards your home. Michael Shannon as Zod, he definitely said yes for a nice fat paycheck, and you know what, hats off to him for that, but I just don't see this film as good or even alright. This really feels like a movie that has been in development hell for a long time, and in the end was. So anyways, that was my talk about The Flash, you know. It has its pros, but it definitely has its cons, and yeah, you know, I just want to say thank you all so much for watching the video, everyone. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like and even subscribe also for more content coming at you faster than the speed of light at some point. And I tried to make a little Flash-like joke at the end here, but honestly, I don't really care. I'm kind of exhausted talking about The Flash. Anyways, thanks for watching, everyone. It's appreciated.